Welcome back, guys. Everyone knows good old Bruce Wayne, the Caped Crusader of comic book fame. Batman has become a pop culture icon, showing up in countless films and TV shows, and comics, of course. But while Bruce is the OG Batman, he isn't the only one, or even, some would argue, the best one. Now, just a quick warning, I will be discussing the plot for some of these points, so if you see a story you don't want spoiled, feel free to skip ahead to the next item on the list. I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd, and here are the top 10 alternate versions of Batman. Number 10. Batman by Gaslight. Introduced in the one-shot issue Gotham by Gaslight, this steampunk version of Batman has been rather popular, particularly amongst fans of the steampunk genre. Taking place in 19th century Gotham, we see Bruce Wayne, looking suave as all hell, take on the Batman mantle to fight Jack the Ripper, who has begun a crime wave in Gotham. After Bruce is framed for the murders, he's sent to Arkham Asylum to await execution, but works to solve the crimes from the inside. I won't go into any more detail in case you haven't read it, but I will say that we see a lot of Jim Gordon as Inspector Gordon, and the Joker even makes an appearance. And while the story is somewhat lacking in certain respects, the visuals are just incredible, and it's really cool to see Batman in such a different setting. Number 9. Nazi Batman. Leatherwing is the Earth 10 version of Batman, where he is a Nazi enforcer working for Adolf Hitler. On this Earth, the Nazi party took over the world, and Hitler formed the JL Axis. A lot of these are gonna have JLA takeoffs, just so you know. This version of Batman has many of the same beliefs as Hitler, believing that the weak should be weeded out of humanity. With a story ripe with talks of the master race and eugenics, he's a pretty messed up version of Batman. But it does serve as a reminder that even the best of us could turn to the wrong side in the right circumstances. Number 8. Green Lantern Batman. Batman normally isn't a fan of crazy powers like those of Green Lantern, but the story was told where Bruce is called to the ring and becomes a Green Lantern. This made him pretty damn overpowered, but led to one incredibly important outcome. He stopped the Red Hood early on, before the Joker became a thing. If you're not super into the Batman story, this might not seem too huge to you, but by stopping Red Hood easily with his ring, Batman stopped the Joker from ever coming to be. However, this alternate reality was not without its own drawbacks. Since the new Green Lantern bats would have a super easy time of defeating his normal enemies, a new enemy was introduced, Sinestro. And Sinestro didn't hold back, straight up murdering both Commissioner Gordon and Alfred. Personally, I'd say sacrificing those two in the name of stopping the creation of the Joker is a fair trade, but Bruce may not see it that way. All in all, it was a pretty neat story arc, and it was cool to see how Batman might use those powers if he had them. Number 7. OWLMAN. OWLMAN is best known as the Batman from Earth 2, where he's a villainous version of Batman. Strangely, he actually looks more like a good guy than the original Batman does. OWLMAN is actually Thomas Wayne Jr., Bruce's big brother who took up villainy after his brother and parents were killed. With a multitude of gadgets and drug-enhanced intellect, OWLMAN is a force to be reckoned with, acting as the brains of the crime syndicate. He's a really neat character, almost Joker-esque in his manipulation of the masses. He even goes as far as to fund those who oppose the syndicate in order to make sure they remain enemies to fight. Plus, he has an affair with the wife of ULTRAMAN, who's the evil Superman, and blackmails him into not doing anything about it, which definitely goes against the bro code. He's a cool character, although not as cool as OG Bats. Number 6. Wizard Batman. This version of Batman starts with Superman being thrown into an alternate future where the sun was killed and renewed through magic. The new sun emitted electromagnetic waves that rendered all electronic devices useless, which was a major buzzkill for Broody McGadgetface. That means Batman. Luckily, the new sun had another effect, increasing the potency of magic tenfold. This is a really cool story, and it's cool to see a new version of Batman who can't rely on his old faithful gadgets, needing instead to resort to his wits and magic. Oh, and he has a dragon. What? Yes. With the normal Batwing out of commission, Batman has a new one in the form of an awesome dragon that he calls with a whistle. The dragon alone makes this story a must read, but it really is quite a good story with amazing visuals. Number 5. Batmouse. With so many dark versions of Batman, I feel like I need to lighten the mood a bit and talk about Batmouse. In the 1980s series Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew, we were introduced to Earth C-, a world where the DC heroes are animals. Batmouse is a member of the JLA, just a lot of animals, and he fights the evil Joker Pig with the help of his sidekick, Robin. Yeah, his name doesn't have to change. Well, they call him the Robin Wonder instead of the Boy Wonder, but that's so clunky I choose to ignore it. Anyway, it's clearly pretty silly, but if you're looking for a laugh, I'd definitely suggest it. Number 4. Dark Claw. Dark Claw, or Logan Wayne, was a character in the Amalgam comics, shown as the amalgamation of Batman and Wolverine. While the Amalgam comics aren't exactly what I'd call good. They're such a guilty pleasure for me because it's awesome to see the cool combinations of characters. Dark Claw is amazing with Batman's cowl, Wolverine mask, and of course the signature claws. Even though the stories weren't the best, I'd personally read the crap out of a comic series about Dark Claw. And just look at him, he's so cool! Even the name Logan Wayne is badass. Number 3. Vampire Batman. One of the most infamous alternate Batmans, we see Batman changed into a vampire after a fight with Dracula. This is a version of Batman that has absolutely no qualms about killing, and even kills his greatest enemy, the Joker. This is one of my favorite versions of Batman in terms of awesome fights, even if it does depart greatly from the normal Batman routine. Now, spoilers ahead, even though Bruce's morality system is far different in this version, he does still realize that what he's doing is wrong, even requesting to be staked at the end of the second chapter. But he's later resurrected as the streets become full of baddies. After going on a crazy and awesome killing spree where Vampire Batman brutally takes out many of Gotham's greatest villains, he finishes it off by ending the life of the final villain himself by going out into the sunlight. This was just such a cool story arc. Even if it wasn't the most complex in terms of plot, it was just awesome to see him go ham on all the villains. But when Alfred gives his life to let Bruce suck his blood, someone must have been cutting onions or something, I don't know. Number 2. Damian Wayne Batman. You probably know about Damian Wayne, the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, who has taken on the mantle of Robin in recent years. But in the fittingly numbered Batman number 666, an alternate future is imagined where Bruce Wayne died when Damian was 14, and Damian was forced to take on the mantle of Batman. The biggest and coolest distinction between Damian's Batman and Bruce's is that Damian sold his soul to the devil in return for supernatural powers, including increased regeneration. Damian is a much more ruthless Batman, more willing to kill and do anything necessary to succeed. Which isn't surprising. If there's one thing we've learned from Supernatural, it's that people with no soul frankly don't give a damn. Number 1. Flashpoint Batman. This may be the most well-known version of Batman, but it's also my favorite, so it has to be up here. In this reality, it's the child Bruce Wayne who's killed rather than his parents on that dark evening. You have no idea how hard it was to not call it a dark night. Anyway, both Thomas and Martha Wayne take the death super hard, blaming themselves, and they both take drastic measures. Thomas dons the Batman suit and goes out to punish criminals in a brutal way, killing without a second thought. He doesn't seem to have a problem killing criminals or their suffering victims, and isn't bothered by the hate he garners from the citizens of the city, since he feels he deserves it for failing his son. Martha, on the other hand, carves her mouth into a permanent smile, becoming the Joker of this reality. It's an absolutely amazing story with so much heart and intrigue, and I honestly find it more interesting than the original Batman comics. The Thomas Wayne Batman was so popular that he was actually brought back in the Earth 2 series, taking on the role of Batman after Bruce dies in action. Still the grizzled killer Batman, Thomas Wayne fights in his son's memory, and he shoots the Joker, which is awesome. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like what we're doing here at Top 10 Nerd, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Which version of Batman is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd. Later, nerds.